The warning broadcast. The galaxy was quiet, but only for a moment. Fleets of alien warships were moving in formation, their engines glowing across the darkness of space. They had been fighting among themselves for centuries, but now they had united against one target. Humanity. The aliens believed humans were weak. A young race not ready for real war. They thought Earth could be crushed in days. They thought humanity would beg for mercy, but they were wrong. Very wrong. Across the communication channels of the enemy fleets, a sudden voice broke the silence. It was not loud, not shouting, but calm, steady, and filled with power. "This is humanity's last message," the voice said. "Stop your invasion now, or mercy ends tonight." The words carried across every ship, every commander, every soldier. Even the civilians hiding on far colonies. For a long moment no one spoke. Then laughter filled the alien command ships. The leaders smirked to them. This message was nothing more than empty human pride. One alien general leaned back in his chair, his long claws tapping on the console. "They think they can scare us with words," he said. His officers laughed with him. "Let them send their warning by dawn. Their cities will burn." But not everyone laughed. In the shadows of the alien fleets, a few younger officers exchanged uneasy looks. There was something in the human voice, something that did not sound like bluff. It sounded like a promise. On Earth, the humans waited. The warning broadcast had been sent with purpose. It was not just a threat. It was the last chance. If the aliens stopped, if they turned back, mercy would remain. But if they pushed forward, the curtain of war would fall. The human leaders sat in silence in the command center. Huge screens showed the alien fleets moving closer to neutral space. Their numbers were overwhelming. Thousands of ships, larger than anything humans had faced before. Still, the human commanders did not tremble. General Marcus, an old soldier who had fought in the first border skirmishes, stood before the council, his voice calm. "They laughed at our message," he said. "But when the time comes, they will not laugh anymore." His words were met with silence, and then a slow nod from the other commanders. Far away in the alien flagship, a debate was raging. Some commanders wanted to ignore the message, to push forward and crush Earth. Others were not so sure. They remembered stories, whispers of human battles where small fleets destroyed larger forces with strange tactics. They remembered how humans never surrendered, even when outnumbered. "Do not forget," one alien admiral said. "These humans are not like the others we crushed. They fight differently. They fight like they have nothing to lose." His warning was dismissed with angry shouts. "They are weak," another replied. "This is our time. Our empire will rise on their ashes." Back on Earth, in a hidden base deep under the mountains, technicians worked quietly. Rows of screens flickered with coded signals. Giant machines hummed, and in the hangars, enormous shapes rested in the dark, covered with tarps and heavy locks. They were the secret weapons of humanity, weapons no alien had ever seen. The warning broadcast played again, repeating across every enemy channel. "This is humanity's last message. Stop your invasion now, or mercy ends tonight." The voice did not shake. It did not beg. It simply declared the truth. Some alien soldiers began to whisper among themselves. "Why do they sound so calm?" one asked. "If they are weak, why do they speak as if they already won?" But their officers silenced them. "Do not listen to human tricks," they shouted. "Forward. Keep moving forward." As the alien fleets advanced, the stars seemed to dim. Space itself felt heavier, and somewhere, deep beyond the outer rim, human warships shifted silently in the dark, their engines cold, their weapons waiting. General Marcus stood before the great display of the enemy fleet, his hand pressed against the glass as if he could feel the weight of the coming battle. His voice low. "We gave them their warning," he said. "Now we wait." The galaxy held its breath. The message had been sent. The choice was in the hands of the invaders. Would they listen, or would they ignore it and face what was waiting in the dark? And so part one ends not with battle, but with silence, a silence heavier than war, for the warning of humanity was clear. "Stop your invasion now, or mercy ends tonight." And those words would echo in the minds of every alien commander, haunting them even as they pushed their fleets closer to Earth. The silent preparation. The alien fleets continued their advance, thousands of ships cutting through the void like a river of fire, their commanders confident that Earth would soon fall. But on the other side of the galaxy, humanity remained quiet. Too quiet. The silence of humanity was not weakness. It was preparation, in secret bases under mountains, in hidden stations beyond the asteroid belt, in deep bunkers carved into the moon. Men and women worked without rest. The warning broadcast had been sent. Now the real work began. Technicians moved quickly across vast hangars where giant warships rested in shadows. Their armor blackened to absorb the light, their engines dormant but ready to roar. These ships were not like the old fleets known to the galaxy. They were faster, sharper, designed with one purpose only: to end wars. In the command center under Earth's surface, General Marcus watched the reports. His face was calm, his eyes cold. "They mock us," he said. "But mocking is easy. Survival is not. We will show them the difference." His officers nodded, not one of them smiling. All of them knew what was coming. Young recruits trained day and night, learning how to fight in the silence of space. They practiced maneuvers where one human ship danced between 10 enemy ships, striking and vanishing before a counterattack could land. They learned discipline, patience, and above all, they learned to wait, far beyond Earth in the Kuiper Belt. Cloaked human fleets remained hidden, their signals masked by asteroids, their engines silent to the alien scanners. They were invisible, shadows in the dark. And yet, in those shadows, the weapons of humanity waited with deadly precision. The alien empire celebrated their advance. Commanders toasted their coming victory. Soldiers sang songs of conquest, but in the back of their minds unease grew. The humans had sent one message and nothing more. No threats, no begging, no surrender, only silence. One alien captain looked at the stars beyond his viewport and frowned. "It feels wrong," he whispered to his second. "They should be running, screaming, pleading, but they are not." "Why?" His second shrugged. "Because they are fools." But his words lacked conviction. Back on Earth, the silence carried a weight. The streets of cities were quiet. Lights dimmed. People whispered in fear, but also in pride. They knew their leaders had not bent the knee. They knew humanity was standing tall. Mothers hugged their children. Fathers tightened their hands into fists, all waiting, all watching the skies in the secret war rooms. Human scientists whispered about the new weapons they had built. Plasma cannons strong enough to melt a cruiser in seconds. Railguns that could pierce through a fleet with one shot, and something else. Something darker. A technology so dangerous it was sealed behind reinforced walls. General Marcus walked past those walls, his steps heavy. He did not smile. He did not cheer. He only spoke softly to his aides. "If they continue forward, we will use everything." His words were simple, his meaning clear. Mercy was waiting to die. The alien fleets grew closer, their numbers shining like constellations. But still, humanity moved with patience. Every captain received sealed orders. Every fleet commander waited for the signal. Ships were fueled, weapons primed, cloaking fields engaged. And still the galaxy thought humans were doing nothing. A young pilot named Aaron sat inside his fighter, the hangar lights dim around him. He thought about the message. He thought about the silence that followed. "They don't understand us," he whispered. "They think silence means fear, but silence is the sharpest blade." He closed his eyes and waited for the order. In deep space, human drones slipped between asteroids, gathering enemy movements, feeding information to hidden bases. The aliens never noticed. Their scanners were blinded by human tricks. Every detail of their advance was recorded, every weak spot marked. The galaxy thought humanity was standing still, but in truth, humanity was coiling like a spring, tighter and tighter, ready to strike when the time was right. Inside the alien flagship, their emperor laughed when the human message replayed again. "Mercy ends tonight," he mocked. "Humans have no mercy. They will fall as all others fell." His laughter echoed across his command bridge, but deep inside, even he felt the weight of silence pressing against him. General Marcus stood once more before the great display of stars, enemy fleets glowing red, human fleets hidden in blue shadows. His voice was calm. "We gave them their warning. We gave them silence. When the time comes, we will give them fire." And so humanity waited, their silence a storm hidden behind calm skies. The alien fleets believed victory was close, but in truth, they were marching toward a trap set with patience, with calculation, and with a final promise, the promise that when mercy ended, nothing could save them. First contact of fire. The alien fleets pressed deeper into neutral space, their engines blazing like suns, their numbers so vast they blotted out constellations. Commanders laughed, soldiers cheered. They believed Earth was already broken. They believed humanity would kneel, but they did not see what was waiting in the shadows. In the silence of the void, a single human ship appeared. Small compared to the massive alien cruisers, its hull dark and silent. It drifted slowly as if it had lost power. The alien fleet spotted it and roared with laughter. "One ship, this is their defense," a general shouted. Crush it. Dozens of alien warships turned their weapons toward the lone vessel. Energy cannons glowed, torpedoes armed, their commanders eager to show their soldiers how weak humans truly were. The order was given. Fire. But before their weapons could strike, the human ship moved. It was not slow, not clumsy. It darted across the void with impossible speed, its engines flaring blue. Within seconds, it unleashed a single pulse of light, silent, sharp, and focused. The pulse tore through an alien cruiser, slicing its armored hull as if it were paper. In an instant, the massive ship broke apart, fire spilling into space. The alien fleet froze in shock. One ship, a small ship, had just destroyed a vessel 10 times its size with a single shot. Their laughter died, their pride vanished. Only silence filled their comms. Inside the alien flagship, officers shouted in panic, "How is this possible?" What weapon did they use? But no answer came. The humans had struck and vanished, their ship disappearing into the dark once more. Cloaked by technology the aliens had never seen. The news spread quickly across the alien armada. Whispers filled the decks. "Did you see it?" One human ship destroyed a cruiser. Fear crept into their voices. Fear the commanders tried to crush. "Do not believe their tricks," one shouted. "It was luck." Nothing more. But the soldiers were not convinced. Far away, hidden in the asteroid belt, General Marcus watched from a command station. His voice calm. "The first shot has been fired," he said. "Now they know our silence was not fear. It was patience." His officers nodded, their hands tight on the consoles, for they knew this was only the beginning. Another human ship appeared, then another, each one striking like lightning and vanishing. Alien ships burned. Explosions lit the void. Their formations shattered as panic spread. Commanders barked orders, but their fleets no longer moved with confidence. One young alien captain stared at the wreckage of a destroyed cruiser, his claws shaking. "This cannot be," he whispered. "They were weak. They were supposed to beg." But now he saw the truth. Humans were not weak, they were hunters, and the galaxy was their prey. On Earth, the warning broadcast played once more, echoing through alien comms. "This is humanity's last message. Stop your invasion now, or mercy ends tonight." This time, the words did not sound like arrogance. They sounded like prophecy. In the chaos, an alien commander screamed, "Find them! Destroy them!" But no scanners could track the human ships. They slipped through radar like shadows, their movements unpredictable, their weapons deadly. For every alien ship that fired, 3 more were lost to unseen human strikes. The galaxy watched in silence. Neutral worlds tuned their receivers to the battle, and what they saw shook them. The mighty empire that had ruled for centuries was bleeding, not from vast fleets but from small human ships moving with deadly precision. General Marcus leaned over the star map, his voice steady. "We gave them mercy, they refused it. Now they will learn fire." His eyes glowed with determination. "Prepare the next wave." In the alien flagship, their emperor slammed his fist against the console, rage burning in his eyes. "They dare humiliate us. They dare strike at our pride." But beneath his rage, fear lingered because deep inside he knew the humans had only begun. The battle raged on, but it was no longer a march to victory for the invaders. It was survival. Every alien ship now looked at the darkness around them with suspicion, waiting for the next human strike, waiting for the fire they could not stop. The first contact of fire had begun, and the galaxy would never forget it. The unveiling of power. The alien fleet staggered from the sudden attacks. Broken cruisers drifted in flames. Debris scattered like dying stars. Commanders shouted across the comms trying to restore order, but fear had already entered their ranks. The humans had shown their hand, but only a fraction. Small ships had struck precise and deadly, yet the real storm had not begun. Deep within the shadows of the outer rim, something larger moved, something that shook even the silence of space. Inside Earth's hidden command chamber, General Marcus stood before the council, his eyes locked on the vast display. Thousands of red markers showed the alien fleets. Smaller blue signals represented human ships, but one icon pulsed in gold larger than any other. "It is time," Marcus said. His voice steady, his officers stiffened. They knew what was about to rise, far away, cloaked by experimental fields. The largest human warship ever built drifted in silence. It was a giant, longer than a city. Taller than towers, its armor black as obsidian, its engines quiet but humming with restrained fury. The ship was called the Aegis, a relic of human desperation, crafted in secret, hidden for years. Waiting for this moment, alien sensors swept the void, searching desperately for the human ghosts that tore their fleets apart. Then suddenly alarms blared. A shadow bigger than anything they had seen appeared at the edge of their scanners. At first they thought it was an asteroid, a fragment of a moon. But then it moved and they saw the shape of a warship. Gasps filled the alien command bridge. "Impossible!" one officer shouted. "It cannot be real." Their emperor leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "What have they built?" he growled. The Aegis revealed itself, its cloaking field dropping like a veil. The black ship stretched across the stars, bristling with weapons never before seen in galactic war. Rail cannons the size of towers, plasma lances glowing with violent energy, and along its hull, symbols of Earth carved with quiet pride. A transmission cut across every channel. Once again, the calm human voice returned. "This is humanity's last message," it repeated. "Stop your invasion now or mercy ends tonight," but this time, the voice echoed with the sight of the monster ship. And the words struck deeper. Alien crews stared in terror, their claws shaking on controls. Some dropped their weapons, whispering to themselves, "We cannot fight that. We cannot!" Their commanders screamed at them to stand firm, but fear spread faster than orders. The Aegis fired. Its first railgun shot cut through the void like lightning. The slug moved faster than light's whisper, striking an alien battleship. The vessel exploded into nothingness, vaporized before its crew even had time to scream. The second shot fired, another warship vanished. The galaxy trembled across neutral channels. Planets and colonies watched the broadcasted battle. For the first time, they saw humanity not as prey, not as weak but as a rising storm. Inside the alien flagship, their emperor rose, his voice shaking with rage and disbelief. How did they build this? How did they hide this? But no one answered him. His officers only watched the destruction spreading before their eyes. General Marcus stared at the screens as the Aegis advanced. "Calm as stone, we warned them," he whispered. "We gave them mercy, but they chose fire, and fire is what they will have." Smaller human ships darted from behind the Aegis, moving with perfect coordination, striking the alien fleet with precision, while the great warship fired again and again, breaking the backbone of the enemy formation. An alien commander tried to rally his soldiers, shouting across the comms, "They cannot hold against us forever. We outnumber them." But even as he spoke, his ship was split apart by a plasma lance from the Aegis. His voice cut into static. On the ground, civilians across Earth watched the battle broadcast, their eyes wide, tears streaming. For the first time they felt hope. For the first time they believed humanity could survive. The alien empire that had ruled for centuries was bleeding, and the wound was growing deeper with every strike. Still, the humans did not laugh. They did not cheer. They remained silent, focused, every action measured, every strike a lesson. They had given their warning, and now they were giving their answer. The unveiling of power had changed everything. The galaxy now knew humanity was not a child among stars. Humanity was a force, a storm, and mercy was slipping away with every shot fired. The breaking point. The galaxy shook as the Aegis cut through the void, each shot tearing apart alien ships that once seemed invincible. Their fleets scattered, their formations broken. Commanders barked desperate orders, but fear echoed louder than commands. One by one, alien ships turned from hunters into prey, their once proud squadrons now drifting in chaos. Every time they tried to regroup, a human strike shattered them again. The Aegis moved forward like a dark titan, silent, merciless, unstoppable. In the human command chamber, General Marcus stood like a statue, his eyes fixed on the glowing map of the battle, his voice calm. "Do not chase them, strike their heart, break their spirit. Let them feel the cost of mocking humanity." His officers carried out his orders with precision. Human ships moved like shadows, weaving through alien lines. Small destroyers pierced the larger cruisers with surgical strikes. Drones swarmed enemy carriers, jamming their signals, cutting their fuel lines. Alien fleets screamed for reinforcements, but their calls went unanswered. On the alien flagship, panic spread. Officers shouted over one another, "We are losing control. Their weapons are cutting us apart. We cannot track them." The Emperor's claws slammed against the console, his voice a snarl. "Hold the line. We are the Empire. We do not run." But even as he spoke, another of his battleships exploded into a cloud of fire. Among the alien soldiers, whispers grew into fear. "They warned us. They said mercy would end. Why did we not listen?" Some tried to abandon their ships. Others froze at their stations. unable to believe what they were seeing back on Earth. Civilians watched the transmissions with trembling hands. The battle was not hidden anymore. It was broadcast across colonies. Every explosion was seen by millions, and every human heart beat faster, hope and fear clashing within them. General Marcus's voice echoed again. We gave them their warning. Now we break them. His eyes were cold, his tone steady. Humanity had no room left for mercy. The alien empire sent forward reinforcements. Massive fleets from the outer rim, proud and confident. But when they entered the battlefield, they met the Aegis, 1 shot, 2 shots. Their pride dissolved into ash. Their strength turned to ruins. No fleet could stand before the Black Giant. Alien morale collapsed, discipline cracked, fleets scattered in every direction. Some commanders begged for retreat. Others tried to rally their soldiers with promises of glory. But the truth was written in the stars. Humanity was stronger than they had ever believed. A young alien officer looked out at the burning wrecks of his comrades, tears filling his eyes. We were fools, he whispered. They are not weak. They are storms in the silence of space. Human voices echoed across enemy comms once more. This is humanity's last message. Stop your invasion now, or mercy ends tonight. The words were colder now, sharper, heavier. Every alien who heard them felt their hearts sink. On neutral worlds, leaders watched in shock, their advisors trembling. For centuries they had bowed to the Empire. Now they saw the Empire bleed, and they saw humanity rise. Whispers began to spread. Perhaps the humans are the future. The alien emperor stared at the display of burning wrecks, his rage boiling. They cannot defeat us, not us. But the silence of his officers answered him. None dared to meet his eyes, for they all knew the truth. The breaking point had come. On Earth, General Marcus allowed himself a single deep breath. Then he turned to his council. This is the turning, he said. They will either surrender now, or they will be erased. His words carried no pride, only certainty. The galaxy held its breath as the Empire's fleets faltered, their strength shattered, their will broken. Humanity had shown its power and mercy was gone. The breaking point had arrived, and nothing would ever be the same again. The final push. The battlefield was no longer a sea of alien dominance. It had become a graveyard of their pride. Wreckage floated like broken bones across the stars. Fire burned in silence. Twisted hulls drifted in every direction. Yet the war was not over. General Marcus stood tall inside the Earth command chamber, the golden light of the star maps reflecting in his eyes, his voice calm, steady, unshaken. They are weakened. Their morale is broken. But broken enemies are the most dangerous. Now we finish this. Now we strike with everything we have. His words carried across every human ship, from massive cruisers to the smallest fighters. Captains and soldiers listened in silence, hearts pounding, then voices answered together, firm and unyielding. For Earth, for humanity. The order was given and the final push began. The Aegis moved forward, its engines blazing. No longer hiding in the shadows, its cannons roared, firing bursts of fire that lit the void like thunder. Smaller human warships followed its path, weaving around its sides like wolves beside a lion, striking anything that dared to approach. The alien empire tried to regroup. Commanders forced their soldiers into formation, promising rewards, threatening punishments. But the soldiers no longer believed. Their eyes were filled with fear. Their hands shook on their weapons, and when the Aegis fired again, another battleship vanished into light. Alien reinforcements poured in, desperate to turn the tide. But the humans had prepared for this. Cloaked fleets emerged from asteroid belts, fighters launched from hidden stations, railguns fired from orbital platforms. The galaxy itself seemed to rise against the invaders. One alien captain shouted across the comms. His voice cracked with terror. We cannot stop them. Their weapons cut through everything. Their ships move like shadows. We cannot fight this. But his plea was drowned by static as his vessel exploded. Human pilots fought with relentless precision, young Aaron. The pilot who once whispered about silence being the sharpest blade, now led his squadron through a storm of enemy fire, weaving his fighter between enemy ships, his voice calm even as his hands moved faster than thought. Strike their engines, cut their claws. Do not give them a chance to breathe. His squadron obeyed. Alien destroyers fell one by one. The alien emperor watched from his flagship, rage boiling, his claws digging into the arm of his chair. Cowards, he snarled at his own soldiers. Fight, fight, or I will see you all burned. But his threats could not erase the fear. His empire was crumbling before his eyes. On neutral worlds, millions watched the battle feeds. They saw human ships rise, they saw the alien fleets fall, and whispers turned into declarations. The humans are the new power. The humans are the storm. Inside the Aegis, Captain Helena gave the order, her voice firm. Target their flagship. The great cannons of the Aegis aligned. The ship groaned like a beast waking in fury. Energy built up along its railgun lines, plasma surged in its core. The alien flagship, massive and proud, now lay in its sights. The alien emperor's eyes widened, his pride clashing with terror. He barked orders to shield his vessel, but his officers hesitated, their courage already gone. They stared at the shadow of the Aegis, knowing no shield could save them. General Marcus whispered under his breath, though the galaxy could not hear him. This is the price of ignoring our warning. The Aegis fired, a single blast that split the void in half. The slug moved with impossible speed, crashing into the alien flagship. The explosion burned brighter than a star. For a moment, the night itself seemed to vanish. The proud vessel of the Empire's leader was torn apart. Its wreckage scattered like dust across the battlefield. A silence fell over the alien fleets. It was not the silence of discipline. It was the silence of despair without their emperor. Without their pride, they had nothing left. Commanders dropped their weapons. Soldiers cried out in panic. Fleets began to scatter, fleeing into the dark. Human voices filled the channels once more. Not loud, not mocking, only calm, steady, unyielding. This is humanity's last message. Stop your invasion now, or mercy ends tonight. The final push had broken the Empire. Their fleets shattered, their spirit gone. Humanity had risen from silence into fire, and the galaxy now understood the meaning of their warning. Mercy was no longer promised, mercy was gone. Mercy ends tonight. The alien fleets were broken. Their formations shattered into drifting wrecks. Fire and debris painted the void. The proud empire that had marched with arrogance now floated in silence. Their voices lost in static. Their courage drowned in fear. Humanity stood unshaken. The Aegis loomed in the center of the battlefield. Its dark hull scarred but alive. Its weapons glowing with power yet unused. Smaller human ships gathered around it like loyal wolves circling their alpha. Together they formed a wall of defiance. Inside the human command chamber, General Marcus watched the collapsing enemy fleets with calm eyes. His voice steady. It is over, he said. But they must understand. This was not victory for pride, this was survival. And now the galaxy must hear the truth. A transmission was prepared, not just for the alien fleets, but for every world, every station, every corner of the galaxy where a signal could reach. When the channel opened, the voice of humanity spoke once more. The same voice that had warned at the beginning, calm, measured, heavy with finality. This is humanity's last message, the voice declared, echoing into the ears of every survivor. We gave you warning, we offered mercy, but you chose war, you chose fire. And fire is what you received. Across the alien fleets, commanders lowered their heads, soldiers closed their eyes. Even civilians in hidden colonies felt the weight of those words. They remembered the arrogance of their leaders, the mockery of human warnings. Now those words had come true. The transmission continued. From this moment forward, there will be no more mercy if you attack us again. We will not stop, we will not forgive, we will end you. This is your only chance to survive. Leave and never return to our skies. The words struck deeper than weapons, deeper than fire. They cut into the pride of the Empire. They shattered centuries of dominance. The galaxy had never heard such certainty from a young race. But now humanity spoke as rulers, not victims. In the alien flagship wreckage, survivors whispered in despair. They warned us and we did not listen. Now mercy is gone. On neutral worlds, leaders trembled, some with fear, others with hope. Whispers spread like fire. The humans are not weak. They are stronger than the Empire, perhaps stronger than all of us. Alliances began to shift. Old loyalties crumbled and a new power was recognized. The Aegis remained silent, its weapons cold but ready. Its dark silhouette a reminder that humanity was no longer a quiet voice in the galaxy. It was thunder waiting to strike again if provoked. General Marcus turned to his officers, his voice softer now. The galaxy will remember this day, not for our pride, but for our warning. We gave them mercy, they threw it away. Now they must live with the cost. His words carried no joy, only resolve among the human fleets. Soldiers sat in silence, some with relief, others with grief. For every victory came with sacrifice, but none doubted the truth. They had saved their world. They had saved their people. and they had shown the galaxy the cost of underestimating humanity. Young pilot Aaron floated in his fighter, his hands trembling. He looked at the wreckage of the alien empire spread before him, his whisper carried only for himself. They thought silence was weakness, but silence was the blade and mercy was the shield. Now both are gone. The galaxy itself seemed to pause, as if the stars waited to hear what would happen next. But nothing came. Humanity did not chase. Humanity did not slaughter the survivors. They simply held their ground. The warning had been spoken, and that was enough. On every channel the words replayed. A message that would echo for generations. Stop your invasion now, or mercy ends tonight. And now the galaxy understood. Mercy had truly ended from that day forward. The name of humanity carried weight. No longer spoken with dismissal. No longer mocked as weak, it was spoken with fear, with respect, with awe, and with the knowledge that mercy could vanish in an instant. The Empire had fallen at the hands of the youngest race, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Mercy had ended and humanity had risen.